Hi everyone, I'm Marc-André the President of the Fédération des Jeunes Francophones du Nouveau-Brunswick.
And I'm Melissa Martel, Vice President of Fédération des Jeunes Francophones du Nouveau-Brunswick.
We decided today to explain to you why we want and need the voting age to be lowered to 16 here in New Brunswick. We live in an illusion of democracy. The voter turnout at the last election was about 65%, and most of the people who voted were uninformed.
There is a lot of problems with voting at 18. Some people have to wait until they're 22 to exercise their first vote. To add to this, the youth between 18 and 20 vote more than those between 20 and 25. When you're 18, there's a lot of changes in your life. Moving is often a part of this and the transition to post-secondary. They have many other concerns. Voting is not a priority.
On the other hand, there's a lot of advantages to voting at 16. The longer they could wait would be until they're 20. At 16, you're also in school, which makes it easier to facilitate civic education in a more concrete way. At that age, you're also surrounded by your family, which means everyone would be talking about politics. The first vote is extremely important. It's been proven that the people who miss their first vote won't continue voting throughout their life. Voting at 16 is also a way to keep our youth in our province, because it gives them a way to feel like they really have a say in the future of New Brunswick.
In Austria, the youth interest in politics have went from 32 to 62% because they lowered the voting age. Imagine what it could do in New Brunswick. Austria, Nicaragua, Brazil, Ecuador, and Germany all lowered their voting age to 16. We wouldn't be the first. The impact studies have been done. The numbers prove it's working. We only need our government to say yes.
There is a lot of arguments against lowering the voting age, but there isn't one we cannot contradict. For instance,
the young people don't know anything about politics.
That much is true. It really is a problem amongst youth. But it's also a problem throughout our society. Name me one youth that doesn't know anything about politics, and I'll name you 10 adults who don't know anything either. The 18-year-olds aren't voting, so why would the one who are 16?
That is true, but that is why we want to lower the voting age. As we mentioned earlier, there is a lot of factors that make it easier for 16 years old to vote.
We encourage you to keep using the hashtag #Vote16 and to send a letter directly to the Premier Galland to make sure he brings back Bill 10 and votes in favor.